Hey guys, it is finally time to watch my second favorite international team play a little bit of rugby again. They're playing the All Blacks this week though, so it's not a great game or not an easy game for them to play their first time since the 2019 World Cup. But let's see how it goes. Going by history though, it is not in the favor of them at all. They have never beaten the All Blacks. They got very close last year in Argentina, 16 to 20 in that game. The closest they have gotten though was in 1985 with a draw there, but since then nothing more there. Angus Gardner, he's the referee, so I'm expecting a good game. I think he's a brilliant referee. The light rain is expected for it as well, so a little bit more in the favor of the New Zealanders. The Pumas do like a running game, and the weather might not favor that so much. The wind is quite windy, so not too good for kicking, which favors the Pumas again. When we get to the games that the Argentinians have actually played recently, they've only actually played two games very recently, which was against Australian XV, like a fringe Wallabies side, which was two games that they played, and both of the Pumas actually won. They beat them 19 to 15 and then 57 to 24. So I don't know what to go by that, but they beat a fringe Wallabies side. The All Blacks, though, that is a different beast to kill. Then you get to the teams. The All Blacks, they made a bunch of changes again. Basically, their starting side, except for that front row, which looks a little bit odd at the moment. It's Joe Moody, Dane Coles, and Tyrell Lomax. So it's a bunch of changes over there. Joe Moody, he didn't have the greatest form at the start of the Bledisloe Cup. I think probably he's fixed that. Dane Coles, his line-out throwing hasn't been the best, but if you get him outside on the wing, he's probably going to score a try for you. And then Tyrell Lomax, he is in because Ofatu Ngafasi, he's out for his 3 weeks suspension for that red card he got. They are up against Puma's side, who we haven't seen scrumming in quite a time. They struggled actually in Super Rugby, if you remember correctly. Chaparro, Montoya, and then a new guy that I'm not very familiar with, Cordella, he's in there. I don't know how that's going to go. Montoya, he's one of the best hookers, I do think. He's a very running hooker. He is playing overseas now as well. If you have to compare Dane Coles to another guy, probably Montoya, though Montoya is a little bit more bulkier and probably a bit slower. Then we get into the second rowers. Guido Petty, I think he's one of the best locks in the world. A lot of people don't even know who he is. Alemano, he's also a guy that is really stepping up his game. In the Jaguares season, he really stepped up his game and kind of outplayed Petty for a little bit over there. Then we get Tuipulotu and Whitelock, the two experienced guys, up against Petty and Alemano. I'm going to say that they might have their hands full because Petty and Alemano, they are very good jumpers in line-out time. Then it is Matera versus Frizzell, two hard-running blokes that will hit each other somewhere in the game. Kremer and Bruni, both of them also like running into players. It's a real hard-hitting loose trio the Pumas do have. Kane, he's been the tackling machine for the side so far this season. And then Savaya, there's been questions so far of if he should start. I think last week he had a brilliant game, one of the better ones he's had so far for the All Blacks this year. I think he's still supposed to be there in my opinion. Then they have Aaron Smith back at 9. There was a lot of blame shift on Perenara last week for the loss that they had there. He's up against Kubeli, so it's two very experienced number 9s up against each other. Sanchez versus Mohunga. Sanchez being the more experienced guy between the two. He's been playing in France a couple of years now. Up against Mohunga, who is in stellar form at the moment. He's probably saving that 10 spot for himself at the moment. Bowden Barrett, he didn't have a brilliant game at number 10 last week. Then we get into the centers. Chocobares at number 12, he's making his debut. He's actually only played 3 games for the Jaguares, so he's a very unknown commodity at number 13. 21 years old. They're talking of him as a big Pumas future player. He's a very hard running guy as well. He's up against Goodyear, who's been out of form for quite a while now, so it's going to be an interesting battle over there. Orlando versus Leonard Brown. That's going to be a big battle as well. Orlando, he will challenge the line and he will break it probably. He has a knack of scoring tries in games and knack of getting try assists through as well. Leonard Brown, probably not in position at the moment, though I always say his defensive organization at 13 is good for the team. Then we get out wide, we have Imhoff, the veteran of the Pumas. He's back for their team. We haven't seen him playing there for years. Dalgi, he is at number 14. And Carreras, Western Force, the fans, you might want to look at him. He is linked to join that side next year. Don't know if that's going to go through, but there is talks of that happening. Boffelli, he is missing this game due to an injury. Caleb Clark, he's been immense this whole year. He is a very hard runner. He will break a couple of tackles, maybe a couple of bones as well along the line. Jordy Barrett, he's shifts again from number 15 to number 14. Arguably not his actual position, but he's scored tries in every game that he has played there so far this year. And then Boded Barrett back at number 15. It's to make space for Mahunga because he's just in stellar form at number 10. And you don't want to not have Bowden Barrett there. That two-playmaker strategy that they use at the moment is just working brilliantly for them. Then we get to the benches. There's a lot of unknown guys on the Pumas bench that you might never have heard of. Medrano and Vivas, very good scrummers for them. So they don't lose anything there when they do come on. Hodgman and Laulala, same thing for the All Blacks. So scrumming might be a big battle here. I do think, though, in the starting lineups, it is in the favor of the All Blacks just because we don't know what we can expect from those Pumas guys, because in the start of the year, they didn't do too well. For a couple of years now, they've been struggling. Then Grondona, the loose forward, he is making his debut. Him and Sinti, both of them are making debuts. Sinti, he is a center. Brad Weber, he's on the bench, not Perenara, so that's interesting. Versus Bertrand now, both of them are very busy, live wire type of number 9s who will run around the rucks and try and score tries somewhere in the game. And then you also get Cordero and McKenzie, more live wires on the bench, small players as well. Very similar if you actually do compare them. Both of them have a very lethal step when they do come on. Rico Ioane, he finds himself on the bench again. He'll probably go on the winger and score a try again. So guys, I don't know if I have to go on a prediction here. How can you go with the Pumas? I really can't see a win for them. They've never beaten the All Blacks. They only have played 100 minutes so far this year, which is 4 times less than the Springboks, and the Springboks didn't even go to the tournament. So out of a player welfare view, it would be interesting to see how they do go, if their players do get injured or not, because that was the whole main reason why the Springboks didn't go. If they don't get injured and they do play really well, yeah, that's going to be a little bit of an egg on the face of the Springboks. But anyway, getting to my prediction, I think the All Blacks are going to thump the Pumas, probably by 25 points. Maybe in the start of the game it's going to be close, because the All Blacks probably do not know too much about this Pumas side at the moment. Nobody does, so that might be the shock at the first sight, but when the game gets on a little bit, I think the All Blacks will just go through with it and beat them at the end of the day. Guys, let me know your prediction down in the comments below. Also, check out these videos. Hit the subscribe button. Also, you can support me on Patreon if you want to. Big Will, thanks for that. And then I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.